Good morning, crafters, and welcome. I have a lovely DIY for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you step by step how to make this beautiful Welcome Friends wreath. Now this wreath is a perfect transitional wreath from summer to fall. You can also leave it up all year long inside. Let me show you how to make it. To get started on today's project, you're going to need a 14-inch wreath form. And you're also going to need 18 white full-length pipe cleaners. We're going to be turning the regular wire wreath form into a working wreath form, and all that means is that we're going to be attaching the pipe cleaners directly to the wreath form before we attach our deco mesh. To do that, you just need to put a pipe cleaner on each crossbar here on the 2 bars on the outside, and also one here on the 2 bars on the inside. And then between each crossbar, you're going to place one in the middle on the 2 bars on the outside. And that will give you a total of 18 pipe cleaners. I'm going to prep our base. I have all of my pipe cleaners on. All of the ones around the outside have been pulled out. All the ones around the inside have been pulled up. We're going to start attaching our mesh on the inside ring. Now this is the mesh that we're going to be using today. I have this full roll 10-inch by 10 yards of Place and Time from Joann's Fabric, and I like this one. This has the little snowball mesh on it. It's the jute colored. I think the extra texture will be really pretty. And then I'm also going to mix in some of this. I have about half a roll, and it's just a plain jute colored, and it's a bit lighter colored than the one I'm using, and I think the color change plus the little snowballs here on this is going to give the base a really beautiful texture. I have my full roll here laid out with the little snowballs. Now to get this attached, you want to take the ends and scrunch them all together. Then place it inside one of the pipe cleaners on the inner 2 rings. Pull nice and snug and give a twist or 2. Okay. Then you want to measure your poofs at 10 inches, and you start to measure right here where you attached it. Measure out to 10 inches, then pinch. Go to the next pipe cleaner, and right where you pinched, that's where you're going to place it inside. Pull tight and give a good twist. Okay, you want to work your way around the center until you get back here to the beginning where you started. Now I'm back where I started. Now we're going to drop down right below to the pipe cleaner on the outside. Pull it snug. Give a twist or 2. Okay, and then you're just going to do the same thing around the outside. Measure your poofs at 10 inches. Move over to the next pipe cleaner and place it in. Work all the way around the outside until you get back to where you started. Now I've gone around the inside and around the outside. The next thing you want to do is go through and open up all your poofs. You want to get the best coverage that you can. the first time around. We are going to be filling in the base more with the curl method. Once you get your base nice and full and fluffy, set that aside. So I have what's left of my roll that I did my base with, and the other half roll that I pulled out and showed you in the beginning. And now I'm cutting these to add some curls. I like to layer my mesh to make quick work of cutting. Now I'm going to be cutting my mesh into strips at about 9 inches. I just need enough to get a curl, and between each of the half rolls I should be able to fill in the base nicely. You can do this with one roll of 10-inch mesh, but since I had some left over from one that would go well with it, I decided I was going to add it to help fill in the base. Now I'm also going to be using my bow dabra. I like to use this when I'm making bundles. I do have arthritis in my hands. This does help me hold it. I picked this up from Amazon. You can find it in my Amazon associate shop, and a link to my shop is in the description box below. You want to take your mesh, start at one end and do a nice large curl. You don't want to roll it too tight. You'll know if you're rolling it too tight if the ends stick out. Now the reason why you don't want to roll it too tight is because if the ends stick out, it makes it fray much more. Okay, so there's one curl. Now I'm going to do another one here. Very nice. Now I'm going to start here in the center. Open up your pipe cleaners there, pull out your curls and place them. And then it's best if your curls face this way rather than this way. You'll get a much thicker base and it'll leave the center open. Otherwise, if you face them this way, the center gets very full and then you don't have a lot around the outside. So when you place them, make sure that your curls are going side by side. You want to fill in everything on the inside and then work your way on the outside. If you don't have enough to hit every pipe cleaner on the outside, then do every other one. And you'll want to do the ones that's opposite from the center. So you have ones that line up with the center that are on the crossbars, and then you have ones that don't. So if you don't have enough to go all the way around the outside, you'll want to place them on the ones that are opposite from the inside. Let me show you one more time. You take one piece. Now you can mix them up. You can put the lighter one on the bottom. However you want to do it is fine. It doesn't really matter. It will all mix in together. I think I'm going to put this one on the bottom always, and this one on top. Okay, so I have my two curls. So I placed it here, move over on the inside here to the next pipe cleaner and add them. Now I do want to add some ribbon throughout my wreath, but I'm going to wait until I get my signs on. I know they're going to take up a good amount of space, and I don't want to waste putting ribbon underneath where it's just going to be covered up. So I'm going to wait to do that until I get all of my mesh in. Okay, I'm going to work on filling in the base, and then I'll be back and we can add our ribbon. Now when you put in your bundles, when you're done, go ahead and twist down your pipe cleaners. Trim them. I usually leave about a 1/2 inch, and then take that end and push it down. Once you have all your bundles in and your pipe cleaners are nice and clean, go through and kind of fluff out your wreath. At this time, if you see anything that looks funny, go in and do a little cleanup. Now we're going to work on our ribbon bundles. I have pulled out 3 ribbons for our ribbon bundles. I really like this one. It is a nice dark green faux burlap ribbon that I picked up from Dollar Tree. This is 2.5 inches at 3 yards. And then I really like this one. It goes beautifully with the Dollar Tree ribbon. This one I picked up from Craft Outlet. It's 1.5 inches at 10 yards. It was $4.46. And then this one I picked up from Hobby Lobby. This is from the Robert Stanley collection. And I really like this one. It adds a lot of beautiful texture to your wreath. And this is a jumbo roll, 2.5 inches at 30 feet. You will want to cut 6 pieces of each ribbon at 12 inches. So I have 6 pieces of each of my ribbon and a few pipe cleaners cut in half. Now this is the little ribbon bundles that we're going to be making. So just pull out 1 piece of each ribbon. I'm going to start with this in the back. Just kind of fold and find the center and then scrunch. Do the same thing with this one. Find the center, give it a scrunch, kind of cross it, and same thing with the third. Take a pipe cleaner, wrap that around the center, pull it to the back. I always like to pull down so I can get a nice tight grip, pinch and twist. And then I like to style my bundles a little bit before I put them in. I just kind of lift each of the ribbons up and then kind of curl the ends out. I will do the final adjusting and everything once I do get it in the wreath, but this way it kind of gives me an idea of what it's going to look like. Make sure I have it tied in there correctly, because now's the time to do any adjusting. You'll need to make 6 ribbon bundles. This is one of the signs we're going to be using today. This is from Dollar Tree's new line, Birch Vine. They're just calling it wall decor. They had this really pretty welcome, and they also had a large one that said home. These do come with a small hook here on the back in the middle to help hang them. I'm going to use this, but I'm also going to add some additional floral wire on either end when I attach this to my wreath. Now this is another sign from Birch and Vine, and I like this one. It's very nice. Each of these could be used on a wreath individually. The one I've decided to use today is this one that says Friends, people whom one knows, loves, and trusts. I also considered using the one Home, a story of who we are and a collection of things we love. But I decided to go with Friends. And I really like the ribbon that I've chosen. It really matches the colors of the green that's here in the sign. And I think that's really going to help set that off. So the first thing I need to do is remove this, remove the staples, and I'm going to remove the little sticker down here. And then we'll attach some pipe cleaners. And this is nice and thick, so we'll be able to staple them on. So my signs are now prepared to go onto my wreath. Here on my welcome sign, I used some of, what is it? my black floral wire that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I put a piece here where the hanger is, and then I attached a piece here where the W and the L come together, and then I also attached a piece here at the end where the E is. Now because it's black, it's not going to be real noticeable, and once you feed that in through the Deco mesh, you're not going to see the wire. And then this one, I have attached 2 pipe cleaners here in the back. Now I did staple them in first, and I put 2 staples, and then I put a little bit of hot glue over the top. And the reason why I attached 1 in each corner is because of where I want to place my sign. So I want to place my friend's sign kind of down in the lower, kind of this fourth of the wreath. So that's why I have 1 pipe cleaner down here and 1 up here, so it will attach and sit straight onto my wreath. I then want to place my welcome right kind of across the center and slightly angled up. And this is why I want to get my signs placed on here before I start adding any of my ribbon bundles, because I want to see my ribbon bundles, but I also don't want to cover up my welcome or my friend sign. Now to attach these, you just simply take your pipe cleaners or the floral wire. You separate your mesh until you can get down to that wire frame in the back, and you attach it to the wire frame. Now you can attach it anywhere on the wire frame you need to get your sign to sit the way that you want. Once you have your positioning and you're happy with it, trim and cut your pipe cleaners and your floral wire. We're going to work on our bow now. You'll need a full-length pipe cleaner. Now this is what I have left from my roll of the green, and then I had this left over from another roll, and this is about 37 inches long, and I like the greens, they go together, so I'm going to add this piece to my ribbon so I can use it up. And then I am going to use these other 2 as well, what I put into the wreath. And I don't want my tails too long on this, so I'm only going to measure it about 6 inches. Pinch and place in between the 2 large dowel rods. Now because this ribbon doesn't have a good side or a bad side, I'm not going to worry about twisting. And I'm going to measure 2 loops on either side at 5 inches. Now I'm going to go to this really pretty ribbon. I'm going to measure my tails at 6 inches. I'm going to pinch and then twist. On my tails, the nice side should be facing up, but once I pinch and come through, the nice side of my ribbon should be facing down. And then I'm going to measure 1 loop on either side at just about 5 inches, maybe slightly smaller. And now I'm going to go to the green here again. I'm only going to measure 5 inches on my tail, pinch and twist. Again, I'm going to measure 1 loop on either side at just about 5 inches. And my final ribbon. Measure my tails at 5 inches, pinch and twist. And on this one I'm going to do 2 loops on either side at about 4.5 inches. Take your full length pipe cleaner, slide it down on one side underneath till you get next to the dowel rods. I always like to push down so I get it nice and snug, and then pinch and lift out. That helps keep your bow nice and stacked. Make sure that you're in the middle. Let's cross over and pull it to the back so I can get it nice and snug. And twist it down. Pull down your tails and open up your loops. I always like to hold it in the center so I don't over pull, because yes, I have pulled my loops out before. And then you can decide if you want your tails all to be coming down or if you want them kind of spread out in different directions around the bow, which I think is probably what I'm going to do today. But just open up all your loops and play until you get your bow the way that you like it. I usually do my final adjusting and trim of my tails once I get it onto my wreath. Okay, now my pipe cleaners here aren't long enough for me to attach it to my wreath, so I'm going to add an additional pipe cleaner. Just lay it in the center, pull your pipe cleaners, give them a twist or two, and then take one of the short pipe cleaners and wrap it around one of the longer ones. You do that to both sides, then you have plenty of pipe cleaner to be able to attach that to your wreath. I have my bow on and I'm really happy. It suits my wreath. I love those colors. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and show some love in the comments. This really does help support my channel. If you enjoy craft tutorials and hauls, you're going to want to check out these other videos. Thanks so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.